Hi guys, 3-year-old haircuts. Yeah, they're a tricky one. Even I can guarantee you the best hairstylist in the world could almost be guilty of doing a really rubbish haircut on a 3-year-old. So I'm going to walk you through what I found to be the best for cutting little kids' hair. This is for a mum at home cutting her 3-year-old's hair in the way. When I'm talking about my 3-year-old, I like to get out the little chairs that he likes, so it's all about him, and I sit on one of his little chairs, and that way I am at the same height as him, because that's the only thing that's important, being at the same height, so that you can see your work and work on them easily. So, hi, let me talk through how I'm going to start my little boy's haircut. And the reason why I'm talking you through it now is because when I'm doing his hair, I'm going to try and work as fast as possible. So I'm going to quickly start, and what I will do is I'll get my clippers, I will put my number 3 clipper guard on. The reason I'm using my number 3 is that middle length, because ultimately I want to have it as short as a number 2 around the edges. I want to have it 3 around the bulk, but on the top I'm going to take some level 6 and I'm going to do some scissor work over the top. So that number 3 is going to give me a middle length that allows me to take off a lot of that bulk around the edges. And when I do this arch movement, a lot of my blending is already done. When I go in and I come out like that, that's blended, so that hair on top is going to be much easier to blend. So if I do just the number 3 around and he says no more, right, I could stop if I've done both sides and the back, and it maybe looks a little bit better than what it did when I started. It's not great by any means, but it's not, I've started with a number 2 or a number 1 around the edges and they say stop, and you've got long hair on top and a number 2, it looks really bad. So I'm trying to do whatever I can to make it look better, knowing that if I had to stop at any moment, it would be okay, and I could get back to it in a day or two without dying of embarrassment that my little boy's walking around with half a haircut. So I'll start with the number 3, I'll go around sides, back, over. All going well, I will then progress to my number 2. That number 2, I'm going to get him to sit up as tall as he can, and I'll get him to look down. The reason why I get him to look down is because I need this hair within the neck bones to be sticking out. It's impossible to get to that back neck hair if they've got their head up. You can't get in there nicely, and you're going to poke them with the clipper guards, they're not going to be happy. So again, once I've got my number 2 on, I'm just going to do that little edge. Flick the little edge around the hairline, that underneath, get into that neck, flick it out, and as I'm flicking, doing that arch movement, it's going to blend that number 2 with the number 3 length. So again, after I've done that, if he says no more, it's okay, because it looks better than what it did before. All going well, if I can do the next step, then what I shall do, to still be working really quickly, is this hair on top here, I'm happy for the length to be a number 6. So you see that length there, how much longer it is than the number 3. So if I can do this back section and the top, the fringe I'll leave till later. I'd like to do that with scissors and a comb. Then I like to take a lot of that bulk off by using the number 6. So I'll be doing all of this section on top, going over it and over it and over it. And then you've got that tapering look already. You've got that number 2 going into a number 3, going into a number 6. You're going to have a weight area around here, but hopefully if you've done enough arching movement, it's kind of blended. It's not the best haircut, but again, it looks better than it did before. Trimmers. The trimmers are great, especially when they're cordless. Do a nice neat sideburns, You can then arch it nicely around the ear. That way you get all those little hairs that are there, and then nice line going down, nice line, freshen up, going down, and then across the back. Again, your haircut looks better than what it did before. So all going well. Maybe then they said I've had enough. Fine, you know what? Let them go. Let them go off and play and do whatever. Choose another moment when they're in a good mood. Step we will do is we will take our comb and we will take our thinning scissors. Thinning scissors, if you're going to continue to do your kids' hair at home, I really recommend that you get yourself a pair of thinning scissors. If you have a look at these carefully, you'll see that they cut every second hair. Professionals, barbers are the best at it, doing male scissor over comb work, have an amazing technique and blend it unbelievably. If you're not doing this kind of work all the time, it's easy to try and replicate what they're doing, and you take a chunk and you've got a scissor mark and you just think, oh God, that looks really bad. How am I going to blend out that scissor mark? Don't even go there and make that kind of mistake, because little ones are going to move a lot and it's a very easy mistake to make. So we're going to eliminate any of that risk of doing that using our thinning scissors. The blending between the number 2 into the number 3 into the number 6 on top is quite a nice soft transition. Once we've done that, and that again is quite a quick process, we're then ready to spray down our little ones here. We're going to be using our proper scissors, and that way we can then work on our top, the fringe, and do our last tidying up. Okay, let's see how we go. Our little 3-year-old, yes? 3-year-old, 4-year-old salad. Is this true, Jamal? Yes? Don't you love the cute little chairs? Okay, so I can come down to your level. Good, isn't it? Is today a good day for hair? Okay, can look down at your... Oh, what's that? Tiger? Yeah. Right, okay. Make sure he doesn't get all hairy, huh? You're going to hide the tiger? You're just going to put him down. Yeah? Oh my goodness. What are you doing with that tiger? Huh? Yeah. I like to use the big one, Jamal, the number 3 first. Okay. Now also, using my clippers, I'm like arching it out. Just kind of blending it. So if it all went bad, and we didn't want to sit any longer, it wouldn't be the worst to leave it just like that. Obviously not the best, but talking about 3-4-year-old haircuts. Okay, I'm gonna get my number 2, and I'm gonna go close the edge. Can you look down at your toes for me? Right down. We need to look right down in order to get this little section at the top of the neck. They're not looking right down, can't get it in there. See, I'm just arching it out, just doing that bottom. Yeah, working quickly around those edges. And while everything is still going good, I'm going to take the opportunity to get my little clippers and clean up the edges, just in case something happens and we can't finish it off. Okay. Okay, look down at your toes for me. And number 6 clipper guard. It's going to help me go over these sections here. So I'm trying to make it so that I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to blend in, because that's when you really need a little kid to sit still. So you can see we're getting a bit of a freshen up without having to do so much precise work. Now, I don't want to do clippers all over because I don't want the actual front here to be super short. Leave that section, I'm going to cut it with scissors. And again, if it happened that it's all going bad and I need to stop, I'm actually okay with what we've got going on now. What's up, Jamal? What? Is it not going well? No? Do we want to stop?
Stop.
You want to stop? Okay. You know what? I want this to be a positive experience, so yeah, let's blow all that hair off. We had a number 3, didn't we? So, my 3-year-old has had a haircut. He looks better than what he did, and seriously only took, I don't know, a few minutes. When he's in a great mood again, I'm going to tackle that front. I'll probably blend it a little bit more, but for now, in our crazy life with a 3-4-year-old, I'm okay with that. Thanks. That's how I like it for my blending. And then in a minute, I'm going to wet it down to be able to blend that fringe, because we can see this is where our number 6 was. And if I pull this hair up here, we can see that's where our number 6 was. This is the hair that I left and I didn't touch. Okay, that's why it looks so not so great at the front. So what we're going to do now, wet this down. And I'm going to blend that number 6, sorry darling, blend that number 6 with his fringe. So I'm going to take that section and can see where my number 6 is. I want the fringe not to be too short, so I'm going to take it on an angle. I'm going to keep going through, because I don't want to take heaps off that fringe. Blending another section. These sides here, to make sure they're blended, I just lift it up, see if there's any hair that doesn't connect with that shorter. That's how I like it for my blending. And then okay, now because we've taken our sections this way, in order to cross-check, what I shall be doing is taking my sections this way, just to see. Okay, almost done. These sides here, to make sure they're blended, I just lift it up, see if there's any hair that doesn't connect with that short. Done and dusted. He's got his haircut. It took us 2 goes, but you know, I'm okay with that. He's happy, wasn't traumatic, and probably took 7 to 10 minutes to do. You don't want to take longer than that, and he is neat and tidy. So if you found any of this information useful, please give me a thumbs up, leave a message in the comments to let me know if there's anything else that you want me to clarify, or you want me to put together something for you. I'm really excited to do that. So if this information is stuff that you like, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be bringing you weekly tutorials to help you do your family's hair at home. Okay, have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.